Hey guys, bear with me. This is not my thing. I'm not a video record myself person, and I have this lovely soundtrack in the back that I can't control. I thought I'd get up super early this morning to do this for you so to have good lighting and maybe some peace and quiet from the kids, but my other children are showing me that that's not going to happen today. Anyways, I am super excited to be here with you guys. I'm so looking forward to this weekend, the chance to get to talk to you guys and listen. And thank you to the Women's Retreat Committee for giving me this opportunity just to share with you. I'm going to tell you just very quickly about our life before and about our life right now. And oh, Kennedy just came out to ride her bike and she's dinging her bell. This is super. Anyways, so I've got 4 kids, you know that. We are busy. We are so busy. We are entering the time of year when we are probably the busiest. And what that looks like, I've got 4 kids. 3 of them are in 3 different schools. I've got Kennedy at home, and she talks nonstop. I've got my own small business. I am not just a mom, but I'm a wife. We are trying to teach our oldest to drive. He is in soccer and track, and both boys are in Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, and we've got the 2 oldest kids in academic competitions right now, and Kennedy has gymnastics, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And we were just starting this busy season when everything changed. We went off to Arizona for spring break, and we came back, and my kids haven't been back to school since. During this crazy busy season of our lives, excuse me, it's generally a fun time for us, an enjoyable time for us, but it's also a crazy stressful time for us. As I know a lot of you can relate to and a lot of you can imagine, I, as you know, not only have a lot of this craziness, busyness going on, but I also struggle with some depression, a little bit of depression here and there, and some pretty significant anxiety. And that can kind of just show up. Shoot. That can just kind of show up and unannounced, or it can be very situational. And this situation that has popped up with the COVID-19 and just this craziness that life is right now. I mean, it's a different kind of crazy, but going into this, I personally have been struggling probably for 2 years, if I'm really honest here, with having an amazing prayer life, as well as really getting into the Word. I find myself very distracted. I have a hard time focusing long enough to get through a long prayer. My prayers are a lot more broken up throughout the day. I don't know if that's what God wants, but that's what I have right now. One moment. Hey, get. Sorry about that. This is ridiculous. Anyways, so I've had this overwhelming guilt just over my head, from my lack of ability to really focus spiritually. And so I've gone into this with a little bit of that guilt, and then also just knowing everything that I need to do right now for my kids and my family, for my business, and trying to do it well. Enter COVID-19. Here it comes. Kids are home. Husband is home, working from home. I am immediately terrified. I am terrified by what this means for us. I'm scared. I'm worried about this illness. We just had gone to Kellen's pulmonologist because he's had a really tough year, and his pulmonologist said he is high risk. He cannot be out in this. If they decide to go back to school, he can't go back to school, and this poor guy, it's just gonna break his heart, and I am so worried about having to tell him about that. Jason is traveling. When he's not home working, he travels for work, and this is a terrible time to travel, and I'm so worried about it. And I'm also feeling so guilty that when I cry out to God about this, it's just this short little thing, and I get distracted then, and then I come back to it later, and I get distracted again, and it's so frustrating. And we just, here's what's happened though. Here's what's happened with all of this. I have learned just this overwhelming sense that regardless of how good or bad I am at communicating with God, at being this awesome Christian, God's grace covers me. God's love for me, God's love for my family, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Yeah, I can do better, and I want to do better, but His grace is sufficient for me regardless of what I do. A few examples of that have been, I was really worried about having to tell Kellen that he wouldn't be able to go back to school, and maybe his siblings couldn't go back to school either because they couldn't come home with this virus and share it with him. But guess what? School's canceled for the rest of the year. The kids aren't going back for the rest of the year. That was taken out of my hands. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to be the bearer of bad news. Jason was supposed to travel to Louisiana, like a horrible place to go right now. And the day before he was leaving, and we'd been stressing about this for 2 weeks, his boss called and said, I've made the decision. You are not going. You're not going to Louisiana. We're not traveling there right now. There have been several of these little and big things that have dropped into our laps that I'm just so worried and anxious about, and have lost sleep over and cried over, that God has just been like, look, I got this. I'm going to take care of this. Jason goes back to work tomorrow, and he actually has to go into the office, and I'm not excited about that. I'm worried about it. He's worried about it. He's worried about bringing stuff home to us. But God's got this, and I just have this overwhelming sense that he's in control right now, and things aren't going to get better super fast out there with this virus. I don't think. It's controversial. It's scary. People are going through a hard time right now. But I want to encourage you, just maybe a little bit by my story and my words, that no matter what you're dealing with right now, no matter your thoughts, where you are with God, where your family is, God's got this. Jason and I are seeing this time now as a gift. We are spending more time with our kids and our family than we ever have. And the fact he doesn't have to commute to and from work has been fantastic. We've come out immediately when he gets off work at 5, and we've played catch with the kids, and we've done puzzles, and we've just talked. And we are just going to continue, as long as this is life, to do our best just to grab onto this time, to enjoy it, to use it. I don't think this will ever happen again with our kids at home, where we have this opportunity and we don't even have the option to go out and do these crazy activities. We are forced to stay home, and we're going to continue to enjoy it as best we can. And I hope that you guys are finding some time right now to also just be able to sit back and look at things and take a deep breath. I love you guys. I really look forward to talking to you and listening to you and just sharing this weekend. And I will see you soon. Thank you for bearing with me and all of my children right now. Love you.